Welcome back, my friends. Today, I'll show you my multi-element Morroc build that destroys the Constellation Tower. And hey, it's easier than you think. About a week ago, I was reviewing the magic classes I play and thinking about which ones to abandon. The first that came to mind was Morroc. Why, you might ask? Because no matter what I tried, it just couldn't keep up with my LMX. So, I decided to give it one last shot to rebuild it and see if it still had a place in my lineup. And now, here we are. I'm glad I did, because this version clears Constellation Tower faster than the standard dark setup. With the help of Kafra's element convert skill, I created 3 builds for Morroc that can clear Constellation Tower from start to finish. I mainly focus on 4 elements: fire, water, dark, and holy. To make things easier and save time, I dedicated 3 Ymir slots for this setup. This is the fire element build. Next is the water setup. And lastly, dark and holy, which shares one set of gears. All 3 builds use the same shadow equipment. The Fire Era relic is the best option, but if you don't have it, Lord of Vayne or Chaotic Blade are solid alternatives. Cards are the same for all builds, so let's go through them one by one. For weapon cards, nothing beats Lord of Death's 25% final damage, and it's very cheap at around 200 million. World Serpent is another great option for my setup since my skill damage is on the lower side, and this card helps make up for that. The extra 2% final damage per CC is also a nice bonus and stacks with Lord of Death. Would you believe I got Alien Zanubia for only 8 BCC? Anyway, it gives 12% skill damage when the second line activates, which helps boost Morroc's naturally low skill damage even more. Another option is Walter card, but I already sold it because Alien Zanubia is better. For the offhand, Or Spirit Star is a great choice for my build. The 5% final damage per CC on the target is just too good to pass up. Remember, Morroc thrives on CCs, so this fits perfectly. For the garment card, I use Zanubia for the extra skill damage, and shoe slot is Ancient Mysteltainn for more final damage, which also stacks with my other final damage sources. I use 2 Witch of Calamity cards, and take note, this build has an 82% magic crit chance. Some people say that's too high, but for me, it's just right. And last but not least, Sorcerer Star for the armor card. Why this card, you ask? Because every stat on it works perfectly for Morroc. And most importantly, check out that plus 30 int, which synergizes really well with Morroc's core passive. Core passive level 7 also adds more final damage per CC on the target. Now my build is starting to make sense, doesn't it? Next, take a look at my stats. This is with meal beef food and magic pen dishes. Like I said, Morroc's skill damage is pretty low, but the final damage sources make up for it. This is the dark build you're seeing. When I switch to fire or water, I usually have 160% fire or water attack. Next is the handbook. This is my current handbook deposit. It can go a little higher if I store all the headgears, but most of the time I just run with this. Arcane runes are White Blade and Disaster. The damage runes are just average and maybe needs an upgrade, but I'll settle with what I have for now. For the stat distribution, just basic pumping up of int and vit, which gives raw damage, dump the rest to luck. And that should cover my Morroc. If I forgot to show something, just ask in the comment section below. Since this video focuses on clearing Constellation Tower, which is designed for advanced players due to its high difficulty, I'll assume you already know how to play Morroc. Instead of a gameplay tutorial, we'll focus on builds, strategies, and party composition. In my previous videos, some viewers complained that I use non-standard or hard-to-find jobs like Doram and Chronomancer. Some of them even got pretty toxic about it, saying it's impossible to find those jobs in public parties. I ended up removing them from my channel for my own peace of mind. Khalitzburg, Kafra, and Saint. So now, tell me, is this setup still hard to find in public parties? Setting up Kafra is easy. To ensure Kafra will not skip buffing your DPS, only place these 3 skills in auto, nothing more. Here's what it should be like if Kafra is set to auto-follow. If you notice the VIP icon above Morroc, it's another Kafra buff that increases the buff and healing received from Kafra to the VIP member by 50%. This is what I use for Kafra, just some basic cards you can buy from C Server Exchange, nothing special. This is a recycled physical account, so don't mind the shadow gears I use. Now for Saint. I think everyone knows how to set up a Saint, but in case you want to see, here is my setup. Lastly, the khalitzburg. Like Kafra and Saint, everything here is cheap items from the exchange. Mostly everyone knows how to set up Kali, so no need to explain how her skills work. Just don't use Knight of Glory buff in a Morroc run, as your party's armor will be converted to holy, and Morroc's field converts enemies' attacks to dark, which will kill your party faster. Kali is also a nice healer for the whole party, but now that role is transferred to Kafra. Still good to have some backup. By the way, all the supports have minor vest on hotkey for easy switching when I use fire setup. Now let's put everything we discussed into action. I brought another Saint just in case for the extra resurrect. From floors 1 to 4, I only use fire build with minor vest on the supports combo. Start right away with transform, then follow up with chain to start building up the damage ticks. As you just saw, the floor was cleared fast, even without Thor to pull the mobs. It was so fast that the cooldown on transform isn't ready yet, just wait it out for a smooth run. Fast forward to the MVP floors. Here, I'm still using fire. I could have used holy, but most of the time I still prefer fire. Next, for Witch of Calamity, I'll use water to burst it down fast. Then, back to fire versus dragon skeleton. Don't bother using ghost as our ghost element is too low. In most cases, fire will be better. Now for double Zanubia, it's no-brainer that I'll use Holy here. Lastly, for these two, it's pretty obvious that I'll use fire again. And that's how I play an elemental Morroc. My builds and full setup shared to all of you to try out. I hope this video can help you clear your instances better. But now it's time to end the video. See you on the next one!